So yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to jump straight into it and let us get going. We've got an exciting agenda ahead. We've got myself as well as Wayne from Cambium Networks directly, who I'm going to introduce shortly. Wayne, just yeah, you're on the other side there. If there are any questions that pop up in the chat, please do let me know and jump in wherever you feel need be.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to the presentation.
Awesome, guys. So if you have any questions as we're going along, we've got the comment section on the side there. You can just pop it in the text, and either Wayne or I will be able to answer. So yeah, guys. So the reason we've all come together today on this Friday is to discuss how can Cambium Networks be used to support home office applications. Okay, with the pandemic at hand, obviously we know there's a number of ground rules, strict regulations that have been laid down by the government with very good reason to try and help combat, you know, the spread of this fairly lethal virus. You know, at the moment there's a 20% death rate, and you know we've seen what's happened in the news with the likes of Italy, the USA, the UK, and you know we definitely don't want that to happen here as well. Of course, it's very unfortunate the deaths that have already happened in South Africa on our grounds. You know, so together we have the powers to, you know, combat this and reduce the spread, and most importantly, you know, keep our economy going, guys. So just to have a quick look at what's ahead for the day, well, for this morning, we first of all got the team introduction, where I'll be telling you a bit about myself and Wayne. Then we'll be telling you a bit about MiRO distribution as well as Cambium. Taking a quick look at COVID-19, the pandemic that we currently face. And then after that, looking at how do we rise to the challenge using the technology that's at our disposal. And right at the end, we've got quite a nice little live demonstration that Wayne Wiblin is going to be doing for us, showing you exactly what I'm going to be talking about with regards to, you know, the technology at hand and how do we manage and get visibility of all these different devices that are in our network. Last but not least, we will then open up to an additional Q&A. But as I said, as we progress, if you want to pop something in the comments, please feel free to do so. And Wayne will, or myself will jump in to answer that. So guys, meet the team. So here we go. We've got two images of, well, an image of myself on the left and then Mr. Wayne Wiblin on the right. So yeah, guys, as mentioned, my name is Charles de Crey. I'm the MiRO Senior Product Manager, and I'm specifically responsible for the Cambium Networks portfolio. Okay, I've been with MiRO for, let's say, just over 3 years, where I've worked with an extensive amount of both outdoor wireless and Wi-Fi brands. So wireless is sort of my go-to and my passion. Mr. Wayne Wiblin, that has been so kind to join us today, is actually the Cambium Networks Regional Technical Manager for Southern Africa. Okay, so Wayne is our technical expert, and when it comes to the large projects, you know, that we work on, whereby we need, you know, a bit of technical backup, additional planning, whether it's on the Wi-Fi front, whether it's planning outdoor wireless links, Wayne is the guru of Cambium that we turn to for his assistance. Now, before we progress, I want to tell those of you who might not be that familiar with MiRO a little bit more about ourselves and how we seek to empower our clients. Awesome, guys. So MiRO distribution, okay? As you can clearly see here, our slogan is empowering you to connect communities, okay? We are a distribution company, but we seek to do so much more than that. And we actually have ourselves as a value-added distributor for a number of reasons that I'd like to cover today. So first things first, I want to tell you a little bit about ourselves with a little brief overview here. For 17 years, MiRO Distribution has been an industry expert, okay? This company was started by our founder, Bertus van Joorsveld, over 17 years ago. We pretty much started selling, you know, Wi-Fi routers when they first came onto the market, as well as outdoor wireless radios, whereby we actually had to pretty much build our own radios on site, where we took the radio enclosure, put in a, you know, some of the earlier MikroTik chipsets, and actually would build every single radio by hand. So the sales guys had a bit more to do back then with regards to the versatility of their skill set, whereas today we were able to have dedicated salespeople to look after your specific accounts. As you guys can see, we are a member of the Hudeco Group. So the Hudeco Group is a holding group that is currently listed on the JSE Stock Exchange. So they are a publicly listed company, and we do currently hold a BEE level 4 rating. Okay, that's something important to bear in mind when you're trying to tackle the larger tenders and projects. A lot of the business partners that you work with will want to know the other partners that you're working with, do they have the relevant BEE certification? MiRO currently sells to over 35 different countries, so obviously over and above the South African market. We currently have 5 branches. Our head office is based in Gauteng. And we have branches in Cape Town, Durban, Nelspruit, and Durban, as well as a Kenya branch, which we recently launched about a year or two ago. We currently have 170 staff members across the board. So bearing in mind the number of solutions that we push, we're actually relatively lean and quite small. We currently stock over 2,500 items in the sales catalog, 95% of which are shipped on the same day. Every 12 seconds, we ship a new product, and we have over 640,000 products in our catalog at the moment. Okay, that we pushed within the year of 2019. And generally speaking, we see about a 30% year-on-year growth in that regard. Just a quick heads up. So we are obviously present on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn. So be sure to follow us. We've obviously got a consistent update of all the latest, greatest technologies, and we also like to discuss a number of our successful case studies. Okay, so, why MiRO? Why specifically MiRO? There are a number of different disties on the market that do push, other competing brands that are very similar to, that may sometimes have similarities to what we're pushing. But MiRO likes to differentiate ourselves as a value-added distie that only aligns with the highest grade vendors on the market. Okay, so right off the bat, one of the things we pride ourselves on is being able to create tailor-made solutions. So we have a team of experts that will help create the exact requirement that you need for your application. Okay, everything from planning, a link planner, and putting different components together. You might be doing an outdoor wireless project, but there's also a requirement for surveillance, Wi-Fi, etc. You need to have someone who can tell you how those are all going to work together. So with that being said, we like to offer a complete solution. MiRO's diverse portfolio of technologies covers everything from Wi-Fi. So we're talking, everything from your entry-level router that lower LSM clients would use to your enterprise-grade Wi-Fi access points. We're talking the likes of 802.11ac, Wave 2 devices that come with all the bells and whistles, MU-MIMO, beamforming, band steering, etc. Outdoor wireless broadband, point-to-point, point-to-multipoint, that's something we're going to be speaking about today. Mobile applications with LTE. We've got some really innovative brands in our portfolio like Teltonica, whereby we're seeing the guys basically use these smart LTE devices as CPEs in things like banking, auto bank machines, trains, buses. It really brings a new dynamic to what you can do and where you can bring connectivity to. With regards to infrastructure, we obviously offer all the additional components, the little bits and pieces that you need to complete your solution. So not just the radio itself, but everything with regards to cable, your RJ45 connectors, your crimping tools. The list goes on of all the smaller bits and pieces that you will need to finish your complete bill of materials. We also have an array of different VoIP solutions, GrandStream, SNOM. Security, our go-to there is UniView, a very cost-effective brand that is really feature-rich. It's something that we actually see a lot of our clients bundling up with our wireless solutions, as this is a much more cost-effective way to go. And with where technology stands right now, it's really a no-brainer. Networking equipment, we have an array of different types of switches, managed, unmanaged, 10-100 up to gigabits, all the way up to your really high-end bare metal switches that we have from EdgeCore, which will basically let you choose whatever operating system you want to work with, Cumulus, Linux, etc. We don't do fiber cable itself, but we do all the components around that. So we've got a fantastic brand called BDCom, a very great value for money, and that covers all your ONUs, your OLTs, and those components. And then last but not least, we are supporting a number of different IoT devices. So Internet of Things, guys, it's a major component for the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, we're looking to, towards the future. There's a lot of buzz around, things like 5G and whatnot, but we can very well support that with fixed broadband and Wi-Fi at a much more cost-effective rate. Furthermore, we've got the likes of Microtek's Lambda WAN units coming on board, which is a very, very exciting prospect because it really does open up the potential to what you can do. And just on a last note there, a lot of people get very excited when they hear IoT because they think, wow, it's going to be fantastic. I can now monitor my dishwasher when I'm not at home. But the bigger picture that you guys as integrators need to understand is the industrial application for IoT, whereby you can essentially reduce a business's mean time to repair, what we refer to as your MTTR. Okay? With regards to support, guys, we're not just a Dropbox company where we say, cool, here's your product, here's your solution, on your way, best of luck. We will fully support it the whole way through. As I mentioned earlier, we'll help you with the pre-sales planning, but we'll also offer you the technical support to help you out when you guys are on site doing the installation. Our guys can jump on a team viewer session, and furthermore, we've just opened up an on-site support team that is available to you. With regards to legal compliance, MiRO is a market leader in this regard. We have a in-house product coordinator, and basically she processes all our ECASTA and NRCS applications so that we have all our compliance in order. When you guys roll out, you've got all your ECASTA or your NRCS TAs that MiRO has on hand to back it up. You're not going to get in trouble for installing illegal equipment, essentially. Okay. With regards to our finance, guys, the name of the game in economics is called positive gearing. Basically, what that means is you guys can essentially apply for 7 to 30-day terms, pull the stock from us, do your full installation, and get essentially paid by your clients before you've even made payment to MiRO for that equipment that you're using. So it's a very powerful tool that I'll definitely encourage you guys to leverage. Terms is definitely something that not every distie is able to do, and it definitely helps with projects. So furthermore, we do have project financing whereby you can spread out those costs over a number of months. Okay, with regards to training, guys, this is one of our strongest focuses. Okay, as we said, we don't want you guys just to take the product and just go on your way, not really knowing how to use it and how to use it to your advantage. Okay, so basically we've got 3 different types of trainings, which is first of all our MiRO Zero to Hero training, okay, which is a basic introduction to a specific type of application, okay, whereby if you are new to the industry and you want to learn about something like fiber, Wi-Fi, surveillance, we've got a quick 1-day training that will ease you into it and explain the fundamentals, the typical challenges you'd see, and then furthermore, how do we overcome those challenges? Okay. Next of all, we've also got our online training. Obviously, this is something we're driving very heavily at the moment. We do have a MiRO training academy, but the previous training that I mentioned, Zero to Hero, we are also rolling that out online at the moment. And then last but not least, we've got certification training. So a perfect example is Cambium Networks certification training, whereby you can come and do an extensive training on whatever portfolio you want to cover, whether it's, let's say, EPMP, outdoor wireless, or CN Pilot enterprise Wi-Fi, where it's a 1 to 2 day training where you actually have a hands-on or experience with the device that you'll learn how to configure, and then furthermore, learn how to onboard onto your management platform, cnMaestro, to get full visibility on your network. And that's the quick summary of MiRO distribution, guys. I hope it highlights, how we sort of differentiate ourselves in the market. And yeah, now we're just going to have a quick look at Cambium Networks. And Wayne, if there's anything you want to add here, I know that this is your baby, please do not hesitate. Giving this a second. It's quite a big presentation, so there's a bit of a lag. Awesome. So yeah, guys, so Cambium Networks, quite simply put, is a world-class wireless network solution, okay? They basically cover everything from your cost-effective Wi-Fi solutions all the way up to your really high-end, high-capacity backhaul solutions. So basically, their motto is that they are able to assist you with connectivity anywhere from 5 meters up to 245 kilometers, which is their longest point-to-point link that they have done. Looking at Cambium Networks history, for those of you who haven't heard of Cambium Networks before, I'd like to just get you up to speed. You'll definitely be hearing about them a lot more in the near future. So basically, Canopy comes from the merging of two companies called Canopy and Orthogon Systems, which then were acquired by Motorola. So Motorola used to do outdoor wireless equipment, and then they basically they unmerged from Motorola to create Cambium Networks to focus specifically on outdoor wireless equipment, whereby they launched their next generation PTP, PMP, and EPMP platforms. Okay, so in about 2011, Cambium Networks was born. Okay, so now although it is a relatively new company, obviously being founded in 2011, we're looking at just over, at about 10 years that Cambium have been in the market. They have taken leaps and bounds to obviously accelerate the leadership within the organization and drive research and design to bring the latest and greatest technologies to the forefront. So just a little side note, something that they've done to support this is that 30% of Cambium's total revenue year on year gets pumped straight back into research and design. And that's obviously largely attributed to the technology that they now have on hand. Okay. In 2018, Cambium were added to the NASDAQ. Okay, so they are a publicly listed company. So obviously that just gives you an idea of the size and caliber of this company. And today we see them bringing out the latest and greatest technologies. Obviously, MiMIMO is one that we're definitely going to hit on, but we are also looking at the likes of 802.11ax, 28 and 60 gigahertz radio links, and so forth, which are very, very exciting prospects that we're bringing to the forefront. That's just a quick pick of when they were launched on the NASDAQ. A very proud moment for Cambium Networks. So, like I said earlier, many of you may have not heard of Cambium Networks yet, but I would like to assure you that it is definitely a world-class networking solution. And a testament to that is the fact that Cambium Networks has won the Manufacturer of the Year for the last 3 years straight at the most prestigious award ceremony in our industry, which is called the Whisperpalooza Awards. It's held once a year at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, and literally it is the Oscars for wireless technology. So for 3 years in a row, Cambium has won the Manufacturer of the Year, which is a very proud thing that we've done. Furthermore, we're not just working with the best product, but we're working with the best team. So something MiRO is very proud about, and we like to share with our business partners, is that we received the highest accolade from Cambium Networks at their last partner event last year. You can see me in the white shirt in the center there next to our current managing director, Mr. Marco Deru, our fearsome leader. So we won the accolade for EMEA's best distributor for the year of 2019. And by EMEA, we're talking Middle East, Europe, and Africa. Out of all those countries, MiRO Distribution was the very best distributor of Cambium, full stop. With regards to Cambium Networks, they have a large worldwide spread. To give you an idea, about 730 employees. Of course, we've got the likes of Mark Goosen, our Cambium Network Sales Director, who's based in South Africa, along with Wayne Wibbling, who's the Regional Technical Manager, and Enrique Ferreira for that local presence. So it's awesome to know, yes, it is a massive international brand, but we can definitely have face-to-face interactions with their local team that are specifically positioned here to help us with those larger projects, with training, with those additional technical support queries. In summary, with regards to the Cambium Network strategy, just to give you an idea of what their portfolio compiles of, quite simply put, fixed wireless broadband, something we're going to be discussing today. Everything from your shorter distances to higher frequencies, the higher throughput solutions up to 100 megabits per second per home over a wireless network is really unheard of. To your Wi-Fi and access switching, we've got 802.11ax and AC Wave 2 coming to the forefront via the likes of CN Pilot and CN Zirus, which is the newly acquired enterprise Wi-Fi portfolio. That's backed up by Cambium's dedicated switching solution, which is cnMaestro. They're also bringing IoT devices to the forefront, and then, of course, applications and management. So planning of outdoor and indoor networks, self-correcting systems, reports and rich monitoring systems, the ability to predict capacity, via the link planner. It's one of the most accurate link planners that we have on the market at the moment, whereby you can get the most accurate estimate on what type of throughput you can achieve. You can basically plot down your different coordinates for your link, and then also input even a noise level to try and get the most accurate estimate. And then also we have third-party support. So for the larger, a nice example is the larger Wi-Fi applications where you want a marketing and analytics solution to back it up, give you some foot traffic within a Wi-Fi application, the types of users and demographics, etc. A third-party support solution definitely comes in handy. So, in summary, what do Cambium look to do to bring to the forefront? And that is quite simply put as the Cambium Networks wireless fabric. And by that, we're talking about an end-to-end solution, that covers any type of connectivity that you require. Everything from your point-to-point backhaul solution, so we're talking high capacity over extremely long distances, to your point-to-multipoint solution, which is your distribution layer. And then last but not least, your cloud-managed Wi-Fi, whether it's enterprise Wi-Fi or your residential Wi-Fi solution. Now we are on to COVID-19. So guys, now I've given you a brief introduction to Cambium Networks, and we're going to discuss a bit more about their technology solutions. But before I progress, guys, I want to discuss the reason why I've asked you all to come together today. And that is quite simply the COVID-19 crisis that is at hand. As you guys know, this is quite a lethal disease that attacks the respiratory system. We've seen it take the likes of a large amount of lives in Italy, USA, UK, and it really is a dreadful disease, highly contagious, that we need to take extreme measures to stop the spread. So just looking at the global statistics, as you can see, we're already on 2.7 million. The deaths are on almost 200,000, and we've got 743,000 that have recovered. And just a little disclaimer, these are the numbers that I've taken from last night's Worldometer ratings. Taking a closer look on what's happening in South Africa, we currently have 3,053 cases, 75 deaths as of yesterday, and the positive is that we have managed to get 1,473 people to recover. But nonetheless, this is a massive crisis at hand. We need to take the necessary steps collectively, guys, to first of all reduce the spread, and then as Cyril Ramaphosa mentioned last night in the State of the Nation's address, we need to ensure that we can start to reopen our economy. So up to this point, in contrast to what we've seen overseas, the good news is that South Africa is actually doing extremely well. Up to date, we've actually managed to contain the curve a lot more effectively than a number of other countries, and I think that's largely attributed to Cyril Ramaphosa's call for action of all South Africans to apply things like good hygiene, social distancing, and unfortunately take the measure of doing a hard lockdown. Which has obviously produced a number of unique challenges in itself. But nonetheless, up to this point, yes, we do have a lot of pressure to open our economy, but I think South Africans have a lot to be proud of with regards to the way that we've handled this pandemic to this point. So, we are putting up a good fight, but nonetheless, guys, the fight has just begun. We have a task at hand whereby we need to balance the spread of the virus versus, the downfall of the economy. Okay, and as Cyril said last night, lockdown cannot be sustained indefinitely. Our people need to eat. So, this is where we come into play have to say, how can us as wireless experts within such an innovative industry come to the forefront to support this and support the economy. So looking into the future, if you guys watched the address last night, you'll know that we're going to be rolling out a 5-level strategy. Okay, we've got everything from 5, which is your most drastic measures. We have a full lockdown, to 4 when they start to ease up and support a few more essential services, all the way down to 1, which is your lowest level that we have. Okay, where normal activity will resume, but there'll still be a number of health guidelines that need to be abided with and followed. So another quote from Ramaphosa there is just, do not give up now, remain united, and continue to stay home and stay safe. Okay, and the reason why I included that is to put emphasis on the fact that he's encouraging us to stay home. So we need to find out, if we're going to stay home, how do we work, and how do we empower the workforce to do so? So, what do we need to do? In summary, obviously, continue with social distancing, wash our hands and practice good hygiene. Wear a mask, guys, okay? Save the medical grade mask for those who need it on the front line. A cotton mask will do. There's a number of suppliers out there creating these masks. So, they're very cost effective. Do your part and wear a mask. Something to note is that a mask is not necessarily going to protect you from the virus spread. It's going to protect others. Okay, so the motto when wearing a mask is, I protect you and you protect me. So, if you're wearing a mask but someone else isn't, it's a bit, sort of inconsiderate of them to be doing so because you're protecting them, but they're not willing to do the same for you. So let's encourage all our, our friends, our family, our work colleagues to do so and wear a mask. It is the best practice. And then last but not least, work remotely. Okay. Cyril Ramaphosa said last night, businesses will be encouraged to adopt a work from home strategy where possible. All staff who can work remotely must be allowed to do so. Okay. So, looking at that specific request, is it something that we can do? The answer is most certainly yes, guys. Okay. There's a few sort of tips or guidelines that we can follow to do so very, very effectively. Okay, right off the bat, if we can facilitate positive communication on a daily basis, you can get your team on the same level and obviously drive different strategies together. A perfect example of how we are doing that right now is we're using IP video talk, okay, to bring us all together. But furthermore, there's a number of task management tools such as Slack, Google Docs, where you can update Excel spreadsheets live, to obviously further promote your remote efficiency in the workplace or via remote work. We need to set expectations from the start. So let your work staff know what are the working hours, what does their availability need to be, and obviously what are the processes and priorities. And then last but not least, well, before you have to look at your security, you need to prioritize the well-being. So dedicate a workspace. Don't cross over your leisure area with your workspace area, even if it means working on 2 different laptops. One for your, if you have the ability, maybe connect your laptop to a larger monitor. That when it's connected to that monitor, this is for work. When it's disconnected, this is for leisure. Just to get into the routine of separating your work from your leisure. Okay. Think about how to use your devices smartly. So maybe an additional monitor or just using a different device for work versus leisure. Dress for work, keep the mindset that this is still a professional, thing that you're doing. So adopt the correct mentality to drive your business in a professional manner. And then stick to a regular time schedule, maintain that routine every single day. Don't let that change. Otherwise, you'll start to see your schedule sort of falling apart. And then lastly, get up and move, stay active. I'm sure many of you guys will agree. Something surprising to see during this lockdown is that you definitely catch yourself working for longer hours because you're now stationed at your desk the whole day. There aren't any interruptions. Many of us have become workaholics. So it's important to remind yourself to get up and move and stay active. Okay. If you just stay stagnant and work the whole day, you will most certainly find yourself, getting bored, getting over it, at the end of the day. So let's not let that happen and encourage your peers and colleagues to do so. And then lastly, you need to secure your setup. Okay. Use technology that will provide peace of mind to work remotely. Now, looking at a case for Cambium Networks, basically we've got the technology on hand to tackle a number of the various verticals that are out there. Okay, this is just a brief breakdown of the opportunities and challenges that us as integrators and ISPs have at hand. Okay, so you'll see that we have a number of different sectors within these verticals that have got a bit of red on them, meaning that that is no longer as much of a viable opportunity. Obviously, transport is restricted. Hospitality is a complete no-go. So we need to shift our focuses to the likes of healthcare, wireless service providers, serving end-user clients that need connectivity. And then furthermore, see how we can support the federal defense, emergency scenarios, and then also provide security, video surveillance and such. I don't know if you guys have seen on the news, but video surveillance is now becoming quite a top method for monitoring the COVID virus. You've got some very innovative cameras out there with temperature detection and so forth. So, Cambium Networks, I've pretty much said, looking towards the future, we need to find out the most effective way to work remotely, because quite simply said, this is going to become the norm. So we're talking beyond lockdown, okay? In the months to come, as I said, Cyril Ramaphosa said, we will open up the economy, but where applicable, you need to still work from home and obviously keep good hygiene and also do social distancing. So, the reasons we say it's going to become a norm and the sort of key takeaways from this and how we're going to progress forward is that video connects people and teams, okay? This is a high capacity requirement sort of task. So we need to ensure that we've got the right technology to back it up. Your office is now wherever you are, okay? With connectivity, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can get visibility of exactly what's happening in your business, given that you have the right technology backing you up. Sensors will help monitor people and things, okay, whether it's time and attendance that you're doing remotely or monitoring, manufacturing machines via IoT devices to make sure that there's not any problems happening there. Sensors will come into play. Your networks will need to reach all types of places, okay? So not just the metropolitan areas, but as well as the rural to support those businesses. And network management will need to be remote. So by that, we're talking about having visibility of every single component in your network from a single pane of glass. So right off the bat, guys, we're going to jump right into it. What is a solution to help us roll out our networks to support the remote workforce? And there's sort of two components that we want to discuss today. And firstly, it is outdoor wireless technology that Cambium offers, which we're going to be primarily speaking about their flagship point-to-multipoint solution, which is EPMP. And then secondly, what we're going to put in our clients' homes to support their working lifestyle. And by that, I'm referring to the cost-effective Wi-Fi solution that we need to use, but that needs to give us that visibility that we require to maintain the network. We don't want call-outs. We don't want truck rolls. We need to be able to manage everything remotely from one centralized platform. So on the outdoor wireless front, I'm going to be speaking about the EPMP range, which I said is Cambium's flagship point-to-multipoint solution. The latest release from the EPMP range is the EPMP 3000, which has only been around for a year or two, but we can most certainly say it's already become a legend within the market. Okay, and where they have pretty much built this up from is the two predecessors, the EPMP 1000 and the EPMP 2000, okay, whereby they introduced the 1000, which had the capability to handle up to 120 subscriber modules. They then introduced the 2000, which then included things like GPS sync, frequency reuse, intelligent filtering, smart beamforming, and airtime fairness, okay? So, those created a fantastic foundation for us to look towards doing the EPMP 3000, okay? So EPMP 3000 encapsulated all of those features, and they just pretty much added industry-leading throughput, which is largely attributed to multi-user MIMO. So taking a quick look at this at the hardware of this unit, the EPMP 3000, which is your dedicated access point or point-to-multipoint base station. Okay, the sort of defining feature of this that no other product has on the market right now in South Africa is the 4x4 802.11ac Wave 2 MU MIMO, okay? And what that basically means is that you have two concurrent streams which are being pushed towards you're communicating with two different SMs at once. And I'll visually illustrate that in the next slide. We can go up to 120 subscriber modules, okay, which is probably either triple or double that of any other competitor on the market. Obviously giving you a much higher return on investment. Instead of now having to put 3-4 different base stations on a single tower, you're able to put one that will do the same job in a much more efficient way, using up your spectrum much more efficiently. Okay, we currently are able to push up to 1.2 gigabits per second at 256 QAM, and that's obviously opening up to a full 80 megahertz. But nonetheless, obviously that capacity is really a lot to work with right off the bat, which means that you have room to play with regards to reducing your bandwidth. So if it is a very noisy area, you're going to get, obviously take your 1.2 gigabits per second and halve that if you're going to, let's say, as low as 40 megahertz per second, which is still a fantastic amount of capacity that you're working with. You've got your industry-leading GPS sync, frequency reuse, intelligent filtering, and smart beamforming, which I'm going to discuss now. So 4x4 MIMO, as I explained, this means that this radio has the ability to send and receive to two separate subscriber modules at the same time. So what that means is you're actually doubling up on the number of SMs that you're speaking to, meaning that you're going to half the time. Just as a rule of thumb, you will half the time to speak to all the subscriber modules in your network. Traditionally, the way a normal base station will work is that it will take millisecond time slots to speak to each and every single subscriber module. Okay, so as you can imagine, like I said, before we even talk about all the bells and whistles of the Cambium EPMP 3000, as well as its much more powerful chipset, it already doubles up on the number of SMs that it can speak to, meaning that this is 2 times as efficient as any base station. We've got things such as intelligent filtering on the EPMP 3000. So what this basically does is it adds a sort of buffer between the channels that you're using and those alternative channels, meaning that it's going to reduce the likelihood of having additional interference from neighboring channels. Frequency reuse, I'm sure many of you guys will be familiar with this. Basically, what this means is using what we refer to as an AB back-to-back configuration, as illustrated on the left here. Basically, what that allows one to do is set radios back-to-back using the same portion of spectrum, meaning that they're not going to interfere with each other and you can utilize the same spectrum. Obviously, on the right here, we've got a slightly more advanced setup where we've got AB on one set of radios and then CD on a second set, meaning that they're all working on, where they do overlap or come close to each other, they are completely different frequencies. But where possible, we set up these radios in a back-to-back setup so that they can use exactly the same frequency and obviously save your available spectrum. GPS synchronization.
Sorry, if I can just jump in.
Yes, please.
There's a new feature on Link Planner that you can actually color code your sectors on Link Planner as well. That will help you to achieve this across your link planning or your planning of your network as well. So have a look at the new features in Link Planner as well. So in Link Planner, you can color code your sectors according to the frequency. So you can see and achieve this on an actual planning as well, and then you can achieve this in a live network as well.
Awesome, thank you for that, Wayne. So yeah, basically you are able to now plan that via Link Planner and ensure that you're going to be using your spectrum as efficiently as possible. Next of all, we've got GPS synchronization. So as illustrated here, traditionally when you've got multiple base stations up on a tower, all of those units are going to fire off at the same time, which opens you up to self-interference. What GPS synchronization does is it allocates millisecond time slots for your different base stations to work at different intervals, reducing the chance of self-interference and enables networks to be co-located. Smart beamforming and beam steering. So this is a unique technology that is obviously supported by 802.11 AC Wave 2 as a standard, But furthermore, to refine this technology or feature, Cambium have a smart beamforming component that attaches to the bottom of your antenna. So if you look at the image on the left there, you've got your main 90-degree sector antenna with your EPMP 3000 clipped on at the back or connected at the back. And then right underneath that, you've got a smart beamforming component. Now, what that does is it allows you to map out the most efficient route between your base station and your subscriber module, meaning that you're taking the most efficient route and thereby, therefore, reducing the chance of you interfering with any neighboring networks. So increasing efficiency, ensuring the highest level of capacity, and reducing and mitigating noise.
So on this, we are actually able to do beamforming in the uplink. So when your subscriber actually talks to your base station, actually it forms a dedicated beam towards that subscriber, and it will eliminate some of the interference from interfering source, like in this case, a ubiquity radio.
Thank you, Wayne. And then last but not least, we have airtime fairness. Okay, what that basically does is it uses an algorithm to ensure that slower devices or worse performing links within your network, for instance, in this scenario, your link that's labeled as F, which might have a longer latency and be taking a bit more strain, isn't going to slow down your whole network. Wayne, I don't know if you want to add anything more to that.
100% correct. When we set up the EPMP 3000, we don't allocate dedicated time slots to each and every subscriber. If that subscriber is not communicating back to or have data to send, then it's useless to actually dedicate a time slot for that subscriber. So we do have a scheduler built into our radios to provide airtime fairness. So if you have a subscriber on your network that might not be transmitting at the highest modulation, it will still dedicate some time to that subscriber, but it will not take all the time, and you can fairly share the network among other users as well.
Thank you for that, Wayne. Thank you. Yeah, so that just highlights some of the features there. As I said, a lot of those were brought through on the EPMP 1000 and then obviously the 2000, but really the standout feature there is the 4x4 MiMo. Like I said, there's nothing else on the market right now that offers that type of capability. It really is market leading in that respect. Then, okay, so that covers the base station, which is your EPMP 3000. Then the respective subscriber modules that we have at hand are the Force 300 units, okay? And something really cool that Cambium have done recently is they've opened up the range to support various DBI options, as well as a connectorized subscriber module, whereby you will have the flexibility to pick whatever antenna size you want to connect to that connectorized radio. So you've got a 25 dBi, 19 dBi, 16 dBi, 13 dBi, and CSM, which is your connectorized subscriber module. Okay, and as I said, you know, based on the EPMP 3000 technology, you can support up to 120 subscriber modules. Of course, this number will vary depending on your real life scenario. You know, what type of distances are you trying to cover? Is there noise and interference from alternative networks in the area, and so forth? So the best way to work that out is to do a comprehensive link plan and input the noise level to see what type of throughput you can expect. Okay, now in this bottom diagram in the bottom right corner, I've just done a little illustration just to talk about DBI and the importance of Cambium Networks, you know, opening up the various DBI options. So, you know, in this scenario, it isn't always necessarily that bigger is better, okay? What is the actual best practice is to pick a DBI that is best suited for the distances that you're working with. Because quite simply put, if you're going to choose something that's too powerful, like a 25 dBi for like maybe a kilometer or so, crank it up to maximum transmit power, you're actually going to shoot yourself in the foot, because you're now opening yourself up to interference from competitors' access points that are also putting out a wireless network. So instead, you know, you want to utilize the versatility of this range and pick, you know, the exact size subscriber modules that you need. okay, whether it be a 13 dBi, 16 dBi for the small applications, and then moving up to 19, 25 for the longer distances. And we're looking at, let's say, about 10 kilometers, give or take, in a point-to-point solution, but you can go slightly distance if it's a straight point-to-point, which I will touch on shortly.
I would just highlight, Charles, I just would
wait.
like to highlight what you said is that because we are working in the 5.8 gig band or the 5 gig band, this is a shared medium, is an ISM band for industrial science and medical. So everybody is using it as free for all. So what we don't want to do in this band is to overpower and put your radios to the maximum power. So if you can choose a radio according to your requirements and let the radio transmit at the dedicated or predetermined transmit power. So in our radios itself, we've got functionality in the radio on the base station that we can do automatic transmit power control. So we can actually regulate the transmit power of our subscribers. With that is one of the features within Cambium that we can eliminate, first of all, self-interference, and we can eliminate the fact that we would like to raise the noise floor for everybody in the network. We would like to see everybody working very nicely in this ISM band. So one of the features is one of that. Remember, if we do a planning of, if we roll out the network, the person that you interfered with or interfering with can be you on the next tower somewhere else in the region. So let's all work together to actually make it possible for everybody to use the spectrum efficiently.
Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, very well put, guys. At the end of the day, it's not helping anyone if you're going out there, despite the brand, whether it's a Cambium or alternative brand, and just going and cranking it up to maximum transfer power using the wrongly spec'd equipment. It's going to hamper your performance, and it's also going to irritate a lot of other people in the surrounding area. So it's about, the ethical and sustainable use of radio frequency, guys. But that takes us to, for that to happen, we need a collective effort for us to work together and do that. So yeah, these units obviously max out at 500 megabits per second, and to do that, they are supported by a gigabit port. A question we often get asked is are the units or the EPMP 3000 base stations backward compatible with the previous generation of subscriber modules, such as the 802.11n, Force 200, 190, and 180? The answer is most certainly yes. They can most certainly work. It's a great migration tool, because sometimes you'll have guys that are working on the EPMP 2000 and they've got a bunch of these previous generation subscriber modules out in the field. You can most certainly swap it out and put in a 3000 in the place of your 2000. Okay. Something to note though is you will not have the 802.11 AC Wave 2 capability of 4x4 MU-MIMO. Okay. You're going to step your whole network down to 802.11n, but nonetheless, you will see about a 60% performance increase on those subscriber modules as a result. Wayne, did you want to add something there?
No, that's 100% correct. I just want to say what you actually just said now is back up with some of the results that we're actually seeing, especially in South Africa, when some of the ISPs, the wireless ISPs, just changed the EPMP 2000 base station or access point with a 3000 access point, and they saw in the vicinity anything between 40 and 60% of increase in bandwidth on that sector. So if you're actually adding Force 300 802.11 AC Wave 2 devices onto the network, you'll see even a more or better increase in throughput on your sector.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Wayne. And then, forward compatibility. Yeah, guys, goes without saying, these Force 300 units that we've just touched on will be forward compatible with the next generation of EPMP. Cambium have a very strong focus on having longevity. So they've offered us a lot of versatility and flexibility within this range, okay, which is going to help you, keep your return on investment and not have to scrap out your whole network in a few years, which we're unfortunately seeing a lot of guys have to do now. And, in that sense, you're then doubling up on your costs, and nobody wants to have to do that every few years. And, to take it one step further, something Cambium have done that they're the only guys on the market that are doing this at the moment, or brought this type of feature to the forefront, is Cambium Networks Elevate solution. Okay. Basically, what this refers to is having the ability to flash the firmware of certain Ubiquiti and MikroTik units to get them on the Cambium firmware, so that you then have visibility of these radios on your cnMaestro network and have it working with your EPMP 3000.
Charles, can I just jump in here? It is not just the capability of putting their devices on a management platform like cnMaestro, which there's no cost involved, but you do get the advanced features that we have built into our radios that can eliminate some of the interference problems that you have on site. Features like GPS synchronization that you actually mentioned, features like dynamic filtering that is a Cambium patent for our products, all our products from the EPMP 1000 all the way to our telco grade PTPM 450M.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. So yeah, guys, a very smart tool, and once again, it can be used as a migration tool. If you're running an older MikroTik or Ubiquiti network, you're ready to step it up and step up to the latest technology. By all means, you can grab yourself a EPMP 3000. We can get those MikroTik and Ubiquiti SMs to work with your base station, and ideally, moving forward, what you'll do is you'll change those SMs over. SM by SM to a Cambium Force 300. And once you're fully up and running, you are then running on a AC Wave 2 network, and you have a full MU-MIMO capability. And then you really are going to be rocking, to quite simply put it. And nonetheless, don't waste those other SMs. Use those for the smaller, less demanding networks, maybe on the outskirts of your network, just to get those going. And then once again, do the same. When you reach your SM or your capacity threshold, swap it out for the Cambium solution. And then last but not least, just on the subscriber modules, obviously we're referring to this as a point-to-multipoint subscriber module solution, but something I'd like to add is this is a fantastic cost-effective point-to-point solution as well. They're still AC Wave 2 units. They open up to as wide as 80 megahertz. So as a point-to-point solution, you can really see some good performance, and it really is a great, easy to set up solution for point-to-point. Okay, so we've covered the primary base station with your EPMP 3000 as well as the subscriber modules. But look, a lot of you might not have the requirement to serve a full 120 subscriber modules, okay? Or maybe the throughput requirement is not as high as it's going to get to just yet, okay? So what Cambium have done is they've brought through one or two variants of the 3000 to try and support those more cost-effective entry-level applications. And the first component of that is the EPMP 3000L. And the best way to describe this is the baby brother to the EPMP 3000. Okay, so it's a 802.11 AC Wave 2 device that has 2x2 MIMO. So to take note, it's not 4x4, but is able to still serve up to 64 concurrent connections. It's equipped with GPS sync and frequency reuse, which makes it ideal for micropop applications. So your smaller type applications where you just need to sort of fill in the void, or put in the missing piece to the puzzle to cover a smaller network requirement. It's an ideal migration tool, okay, on the base station front, because let's say you're ready to step up to the EPMP units, but you've only got, let's say, 20 subscriber modules that you need to serve within the area. By all means, let's keep it cost effective. Let's go with a 3000L, standardize on the Force 300 SMs. But when we reach our capacity or our SM threshold, because you're already using the Force 300 subscriber modules, it's as simple as a straight swap out. Take your EPMP 3000, move it to the outskirts or smaller application within your network, and then standardize on the EPMP 3000 and push up to 100 plus subscriber modules. These 3000L units are compatible with the Cambium EPMP 5 gigahertz 90 or 120 degree sector antenna. But something I just want to inform you guys of is the fact that it also works with RF elements. We've got a lot of massive RF elements fans out there, and personally speaking, I am as well. I really love their motto of, using radio frequency in the most efficient manner as possible. So as a result, the EPMP 3000Ls, you'll see in the bottom left corner here, is able to work with the RF element switchboard adapters, which you can then hook up to an asymmetrical horn. Okay, so that's for your slightly more narrow degrees. We've got 60 degree, 30 degree options. So, you've got a few options with regards to, or a few different choices with regards to the degrees. It's not just a straight 90 degree that we're limited to. So, as I said, I'm a big fan of RF Element's motto and the way they look at, utilizing radio frequency by rather, using more narrow beams to cover a sector. So as opposed to blasting out one huge outdoor wireless coverage lobe, or not lobe, patch array, you rather go with a symmetrical and asymmetrical horn with the 3000Ls to have multiple of these up on a tower to split up the network. Wayne, I don't know if there's anything you want to say on this side.
I would like to add, within this, we are developing within Cambium itself, also in conjunction with RF elements, some of our solutions that you will see coming out into market as well.
Awesome. Very exciting prospect. Thank you, Wayne. And then a second variant of the 3000L. The reason I say that is because this unit has pretty much exactly the same wireless performance as it is the EPMP MicroPop 3000. Okay, so performance-wise, it's got exactly the same Wi-Fi, so outdoor wireless chipset in this unit. The only difference is instead of it being an integrated unit whereby you can select whatever antenna you want, a connectorized unit, it is actually an integrated unit. So this comes standard with a 8 dBi, 9 dBi dual polarity omnidirectional antenna built in. So also 802.11 wave 2, 2x2 MIMO, and can serve up to 64 subscriber modules. So if you have once again, that smaller void where you need to cover a few subscriber modules, let's say within 360 degrees, but only up to, let's say, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, no more than that, then this is the perfect solution to standardize on. So to give you an idea of the type of applications, we'll use this for, is to extend our coverage areas. Okay, so in unreachable places, you might even use 2 4300s as your backhaul to project your network a bit further, and then just use a MicroPop to cover a smaller 360 degree area. So you can inject new capacity, and you can also backhaul outdoor wireless access points. So, whereby you'll have a MicroPop 3000, which will connect to, let's say, a few 4300 subscriber modules, which will actually cable up directly to things like Wi-Fi access points. And you can even take it one step further and link it up to cameras and such. So essentially bringing capacity where it is needed most. Okay, so we've got multiple tools. This illustrates obviously just like a residential area. This is how we can fill the void and bring connectivity to the workforce that are out there. Okay, we're working with high capacity radios with all the bells and whistles. Literally, there's nothing that can compare to this on the market right now. So, it's bringing us a very powerful tool that we need to bring to the forefront. With the capacity demands that we're seeing at the moment, all of a sudden we're seeing peak hours pretty much happen the whole day. Whereas before, you'd generally see it happen at specific hours, an hour or two burst at certain parts of the day, either in the beginning or the end. Whereas that's now consistently happening the whole way through. People are needing to run their businesses via video conferences, have access to their things like SAP and Oracle platforms and such. So you need the capacity to back it up. But at the same time, we don't have time to lay down fiber, do trenching, roll out installation teams. Using a Cambium network solution, it's as simple as finding a high site, whether that's a pole that you've mounted, a tower that's available to you, setting up your base station, and just popping up a subscriber module at your client's house. So we're going to take a look at Cambium's indoor solution, which is your which basically completes the outdoor wireless fabric. Sorry, I just wanted to. Yeah, sorry, I just jumped forward there. So we've got our R series. This is just one of the examples that we have. It's our CN Pilot range, okay, whereby we've got a very cost-effective router that offers you full remote visibility of your network. So this is the perfect TR069 solution that ISPs can use to monitor what's happening on their client devices. But furthermore, it comes with a number of different robust features that will support the unique environment that is a remote work environment, okay? What you need to bear in mind is a lot of these applications, well, when you're looking at the Soho type environments, so small office, home office environments, you've got a Wi-Fi network that's doubling up as not just a work solution, but also as a leisure solution, because you're going to have people working from home, you know, doing their video conferencing and just, you know, their day-to-day work activities. But at the same time, you're going to have kids that are at home needing to use the internet for education, for games, for streaming, and so forth. So you need to have, you know, things like multiple SSIDs that you can set up a work network that you prioritize versus a leisure network, which will be used for streaming Netflix and so forth. So this is your go-to solution, the Cambium CN Pilot R series, okay? We've got these available in standard 802.11n, so they work on just 2.4 gigahertz, as well as the latest release, which is called the R195, which is a full AC solution, dual band, with all the bells and whistles. Something really cool about the R series is that it has a feature called zero-touch onboarding. What that basically allows you to do is to onboard this solution onto your management platform without ever taking it out of the box. All you need to have is a serial number, and we could very well be in Johannesburg and the installer is in Cape Town. He sends us the serial number via Cambium's management solution, which we're going to touch on now. We are able to onboard and completely configure the device before it has even been taken out the box and installed in Cape Town. As soon as a device is taken out, it gets an internet connection. That configuration will be automatically relayed onto that device, and you will have full visibility of your home router. So this is, like I said, called the CN Pilot R series, and is a very, very powerful tool. So the last component that we need to speak about, okay, we've touched on the EPMP 3000 solution with its different variants of base stations and wide variety of subscriber modules, as well as our ISP router solution, which is the CN Pilot R series, which gives you full visibility, you know, of your network, and also allows, you know, your clients to have a seamless wireless experience, even though they're using that network for multiple tasks, whether it be work-related, education, entertainment, etc. We've got the correct solution. Everything from the tower to the edge, we have it covered by Cambium Networks. But something that we often get asked is, how do we pull this all together? How do we make these different components work? And that the answer to that is Cambium Networks cnMaestro. Okay, you can see it there in the top left corner of this diagram. That is Cambium's completely free cloud-managed platform. Okay, no licenses included. This will give you visibility of all your outdoor wireless backhaul solutions, point to multipoint, and as well as your enterprise Wi-Fi and residential Wi-Fi. So essentially, you know, from 2 kilometers to 245 kilometers, we have full visibility of our network. We can monitor and manage it completely free of charge with no licensing fees. So if you guys have worked with you know, some of the other solutions out there, you'll know that there's these monthly or annual licensing fees that come to bite you at the end of the month or at the end of the year, just to use the management platform to get visibility on the hardware that you've already paid for. So, you know, Cambium want to make it more accessible, and therefore they've standardized on a free management platform. Furthermore, this is all supported by global support, not just MiRO and you know, the likes of Wayne, who are locally located, but Cambium's 24/7 global support. But yeah, so guys, that's my brief summary of the two solutions that I wanted to touch on: the outdoor wireless and the Wi-Fi, to support remote work, the remote workforce or working from home. But before we conclude, the last part of the day, or the presentation that we have, is a live cnMaestro demonstration by Wayne. So I'm just going to close off my screen share and hand over to Wayne to do a quick run through of the different feature set that you have at hand when obviously working with cnMaestro. So Wayne, I'm going to cut my screen share, and then if you could just activate yours.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cool. On cnMaestro, I just want to reiterate some of the stuff that Shoal actually touched on. One of them is that cnMaestro is our network management device that you can actually manage devices both on the cloud and on premises as well. So we've brought out a device as well. So if you need the physical hardware, we can provide that as well. On the cloud version, you can actually manage up to 25,000 devices at once. And then also, this is a network management system designed by Cambium for the Cambium equipment. This is not something that we went into the industry and just reskinned a network platform that is out there. I'm just waiting for the screen to load. It seems to take a while to load. Well, I'm just going to run down what I would like to do this morning is just to show you some of the functionality of the cnMaestro, but in essence, I would just want to show you how easy it is to actually, on our cnPilot platform, to actually create a guest portal. So I'm just waiting for my screen to share. I don't think it's sharing.
Wayne, I can definitely see your screen. It's still at the main page for cnMaestro, so whereby you onboard your devices, you update your software.
Yeah, you can see my screen.
Perfect.
Okay. There's some of the functionality on the main page of cnMaestro. And I can literally go into the devices and see that currently there's 5 devices on this small network of mine, and one of them are offloaded. And if I click on one of them, I can actually click on the device itself or the IP address, and we can actually physically go to the device as if we were sitting in front of the device itself. So there you can see that I can actually log into the device from cnMaestro. This device I can sit down anywhere in the world and log into my whole network. If my network is set up properly, I can log in from anywhere in the world. So this is just if I was sitting in front of my device as what you would see if you actually logged into the PoE in the device itself. There's several ways to onboard devices in cnMaestro. One of them is actually going to device and put the settings of the cnMaestro on that, or in our case, on the Wi-Fi side, is that we can actually just put down the serial number of the device in cnMaestro, and as soon as that device can actually open up a HTTP session to our internet or to the cloud.cambiums.net, I can actually onboard the device and push down configurations and everything else on that device that I would like to do. But today I'm going to concentrate just on our guest portal and just show you how easy it is to set up the guest portal. You can set up the guest portal either in cnMaestro, or you can set a guest portal on the devices if you want to use the device in standalone mode. For this guest portal, I just click on the guest portal and add a portal. Add a name to it and save. That is one of the first functionalities of this. You will see now that there is several ways that I can set it up. I can either have a paid portal, or I can free access to it, or I can just create vouchers. So if I do a free guest portal, I can enable free access. I can limit the client sessions in the time that they would like to actually do allow a session. So this is ideal, for instance, if you own a coffee shop or small business and you have your customers that you would like to attract to your business, but you don't want them to stay there forever. So I can provide them free Wi-Fi for a half an hour, so that when they sit down and waiting for the coffee, there's something to do. But I don't want them to sit there for the whole day using the Wi-Fi and only order 1 cup of coffee. So I can either rate them by the amount of time that they spend on the network, or I can rate the limit, or I can even do a quota limit on them. In the quota limit, I can actually do the quota limit in up and down link, depends on how the requirements you would like to set up on your network itself. On the free portal, you can actually utilize your social login to actually get your customers to log in. So you can actually ask the customers to log in with a Facebook profile or Google Plus profile or a Twitter profile. The best of everything is that you can actually harvest some of the information here and you can start advertising on that. The last way that you would like to authenticate is via SMS. So there's several SMS gateway providers that we support, FastSM, Twilio, some of the more famous ones. And I can also use a OTP, a one-time PIN, to actually connect these subscribers to our guest portal. Nice thing about this is that I can add a whitelist as well. So if I just want them to actually go and browse my own website while they're in the coffee shop, they can do it. Interesting, if you have this and you set up in a, say, for a bank, Standard Bank, Absa Bank, you can allow the customers to, with the free access, just go to Standard Bank webpage and do their internet banking. If I don't want them to be able to access this for free, I can actually integrate into several payment portals so that they can get a voucher to actually go in and browse the internet while they're sitting in your coffee shop or at home. So while we're in this lockdown scenario that we have, is that you can actually provide several SSIDs to your clients, or your, in my case, I would do it to my kids, and I will limit them to a certain time that they can actually spend on the internet, because they're supposed to be in school, so they do have schoolwork that they need to finish. So I will allow them maybe a 2 hour or 3 hours, and after that, sorry, then you have to go back to your books and do some schoolwork. The last way that you can access this, you can actually create vouchers. And to create vouchers is actually very simple. You can actually fill in the detail, even change the voucher design. There's some of the templates that we can actually provide you. And this is how easy you're going to set up the access to your guest portal. Now you've decided that you want a free portal or pay portal, or you want to use the voucher system within cnMaestro within the guest portal. Now let's look how easy it is to actually put up a splash page. If I can click on the splash page, we've got several templates that you can actually utilize. One in the airport, one on the beach, and one on the coffee shop, and one for the hotel. Okay, relevancy here today, as we sit in lockdown, is not very relevant, because we're not allowed to go to the airports, we're not allowed to go to the beach, we're not allowed to drink coffee in a coffee shop or a hotel. Therefore, we can actually change the logos, you can change the background, you can actually import your own image, background image. We can change the text design, you can just decide what you wanted to put on the text. For instance, the color, your format, and your size. and you can change the content as well. So in this case, I will put MiRO as my name and save it. And you can see on that, I've just changed this name for this splash page to MiRO. This is how easy, and even if you don't want to use our message systems, you can actually go to the Advanced tab and put down your own CSS design, and you can even add custom fields. So what we really would like to do with this guest portal was to make it as easy as possible for you actually to set up the guest portal. And the last thing on the guest portal, if you go into the sessions, you can actually see who actually logged into your network, the time that they actually have still available, and what voucher codes do you have. So everything is manageable, and you can at the end export all that information on your guest portal to either yourself to actually manage it, or to your end client as well, to see, let him see who actually visited the page and how long that they actually spent on this. So just to recap, create your guest portal, create the access, decide if you want to have free, paid, or voucher access, create your splash page, guest portal done. So if you have all the information available that you would like on your guest portal, that could be anything from a setup time of 2 to 3 minutes to have your guest portal up and running. Just want to like to highlight, if you actually are a wireless ISP, at this stage, I am the wireless ISP, and I have a client, for instance, say McDonald's, and today McDonald's is running a special and get one hamburger for free, just to get the people buying McDonald's after the lockdown. I can today go to the splash page, change everything on the splash page, put the ad there, and when people log into the McDonald's site on the McDonald's premises, they can see the special. And I can push down this special to all the McDonald's devices in my network. Tomorrow morning, they don't want that special because they sold too many hamburgers yesterday. I can just change it back to what it is and push it down. So literally you can manage this, all the splash pages on all your networks in the comfort of your office or your home. So this is just what I would like to highlight, just on some of the functionality on our guest portal. And you can set this guest portal, as I mentioned, on cnMaestro or on a single device as well. So Charles, that is just, I want to show how easy it is actually to set it up. There's nothing fancy about it. You can use it either in the cloud or on premises or on the device itself.
Thank you, Wayne. And something I love to add is the fact that this also offers an additional revenue stream. As you said, there is a marketing component to this, whereby you can brand, your guest login page and really raise your brand awareness, and even get other sponsors to come and actually have to pay you to promote their brand via your guest login portal.
And it's really simple to set it up.
Most certainly, most certainly. But yeah, does anyone have any questions on the cnMaestro or on the guest login portal so far? If you guys do, please just pop it in the right there. But
yeah, so to invite everybody that has a guest portal or would like to set up the guest portal to contact either yourself or myself, and we can actually do an individual session as well. That is not just going for cnMaestro, it's going for any of the Cambium products, inclusive of Link Planner. So if you have not used Link Planner before, it will take you probably around about 45 minutes to learn how to use Link Planner, and we can just have a webinar and I can actually show you the ropes within Link Planner or cnMaestro or any other of our products that we have. We're in lockdown now, and like Charles said, we all need to work from home. Getting up in the morning, dress yourself in a nice shirt and tie just to get into the routine as well, and then we can do a lot of training online for you while you are not able to actually go out and do some installs or do if you have free time. And I believe that goes all the way from MiRO as well, where they can actually have sessions with you as well.
Most certainly, I strongly agree. We're here to try and use our time as productive as possible, as productively as possible. So please don't hesitate to reach out. You know who we are. I'm the Cambium Product Manager, and Wayne is the Regional Technical Manager. We'll just channel it through MiRO, and we'll be all Cambium directly. We'll be happy to assist on all fronts. So whether it's just something you want to learn a bit more about, we can point you in the right direction, get you to get a free Cambium learning account set up. Or if it's a larger project, we can't go ahead and roll it out now. You want to speak to us about, how we can go about it. We can do all the planning, whether it's doing a Wi-Fi heat map or potentially setting out a link plan. That's what we're here to assist with. So please do not hesitate to jump in.
And from my side of the thing, I just would like to highlight that we can connect you from 2 meters to 245 kilometers. And we would like to provide you quality, reliable equipment at an affordable price. That is the reason why we actually have on our indoor units, we have a 5-year warranty, and on our outdoor units, we've got a 3-year warranty, because we in Cambium itself trust in our equipment that we can provide you.
Exactly. Awesome. So, Wayne, if you can just stop your screen share, I'm just going to wrap it up. We've just got, I think, just 1 or 2 more summary slides before we open up to the dedicated Q&A session. Thank you. Awesome. Wayne, you can see my screen?
Not yet. Still loading from my side.
Okay.
You say.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
That's your screen, yes.
Cool. It's just going to take a second. There we go. Oh, sorry, I don't know why it started from the start here. Okay, we'll just jump straight through. So apologies for that, but we will not be jumping around. So, yeah, thank you very much for that live demo. And I really hope it really emphasizes the simplicity of it, guys. This is your tool to do zero-touch onboarding, to quickly throw together a guest login portal. It's there. It's free of charge. You can create a free cnMaestro account right off the bat. A super powerful tool, not just for the setup, but once you're up and running, it gives you all the possible analytics that you'd need to optimize your network. Furthermore, it's got an awesome feature whereby you can actually share a site. So obviously, if you're having issues with a specific application, you don't want to share your login details and your account information with someone else. You can actually share a specific site and give someone either, monitoring rights or managing rights to assist you with that. And yeah, just in summary, so, obviously all those features that Wayne spoke about apply to, your CN Pilot indoor equipment. On the Maestro side, as Wayne said, everything from 2 to 245 kilometers, a true tower to the edge solution with multiple setup options, guest access options, that include splash pages, a voucher system, social login details that you can use, rate time and data limiting, which obviously prevent people from sort of abusing of the network, and is a very good balancing tool, third-party integration, multiple SSIDs, and then a 5 to 3 year warranty. So 5 years standard warranty across the board on all indoor equipment, and then 3-year warranty across the board on all outdoor Wi-Fi and outdoor wireless point-to-multipoint and point-to-point solutions. So that covers EPMP as well. And then last but not least, guys, no licensing. Those annual fees that come to bite you are not are not a reality when you're working with Cambium Networks. So just in summary, guys, a beautiful testament to Cambium and how it is really working out there in the field. I just want to highlight 1 or 2 of our top ISP users that are out there at the moment that are using Cambium Networks outdoor wireless and their Wi-Fi to enable people to work from home. One of the top examples is YOLO, who are currently in Italy. You can imagine how desperately they need that at the moment to encourage people to stay indoors. So I can only assume that they're playing a major role in that, given the crisis at hand in Italy with COVID-19. And currently they are actually the largest WISP in Europe, full stop, okay? And what are they standardizing on? That is Cambium Networks devices, as they have over 600,000 devices in their field. Wayne, I don't know if you want to add anything on YOLO.
Yes, I would like to add something, is that Netflix actually did a survey in several countries in Europe on who's providing the best service to the customers that is using Netflix. So a year ago, 2018, on Yellow, they were rated number 6 in Italy for network providers. Last year, 2019, they were rated number 1. What's more impressive is that on all the wireless ISPs, all the ISPs out there, they were rated number 1 by independent Netflix operator, and they were the only wireless ISP in the top 6 ISPs. The rest were all fiber ISPs, but they came out on number 1. And we see that not just in Italy, where we see ELO as our larger ISPs, we see that in several other companies as well. In UK, Airband followed the same suit as well. They also came out number 1 in 2019 as a provider to Netflix service on their network. And that is independent from Cambium. It is a Netflix survey that they done.
Very true, Wayne, very true. It's really crazy to see how they're beating out all those fiber competitors. I've actually also obviously taken quite an extensive look at that Netflix index, and it's crazy to see how, you've probably got, you've obviously got Cambium up at the top with their wireless technology and YOLO. And then every second, I think the next maybe 8 or 9 ISPs are all on fiber. So it just shows you, how many leaps and bounds ahead on the wireless technology side that Cambium actually is, to be able to beating out fiber. And, that note, sorry.
And from my side is, we've seen several other ISPs out there that is providing fiber. I'm not knocking fiber, I love fiber. Is that what they do is, if they can't provide fiber to their customers, they actually decide and say to their customers, listen, we can't provide you fiber at day 1, but we can provide you a wireless connection to your house. And when we reach your house with the fiber, if we come past your house with the fiber, we will just convert your service to a fiber conversion. The problem that they have is that because the wireless is so reliable in that area, when they pass the house with the fiber, only 23% uptake on the fiber. The rest says, my wireless system is working, leave it alone.
Exactly. And, we've touched on YOLO, which is a fantastic international example, and we've got plenty more in Europe, America, across the world, people that are quite simply having to jump to Cambium Networks because there's no other wireless solution that can offer, that number of subscriber modules, that number of capacity, as well as, the level of visibility on the management platform and so forth. And a nice local example that we have is our good friends WireLink, okay, who are currently openly marketing and providing 50 megabit per second wireless packages, okay? So, I mean, really, we're matching and exceeding fiber speeds in a number of respects. And then last but not least, we've got the HeroTel group that are the largest WISP holding group, okay? So they're a number of different ISPs, and they happen to be the biggest collection in South Africa, and they are completely standardizing on the EPMP 3000 solution. Mm-hmm. So, these are massive testaments to local examples of guys that are rolling out, and showing us that it's not just applicable to European markets, but also the South African markets, okay? Whether you're looking to, empower our normal internet clients, okay, or furthermore, bring connectivity to the rural communities. We've got a lot of townships and whatnot that don't have fiber lines running in. So we've got the solution. You can use our point-to-point backhaul solutions, and then use something like the MicroPop to act as a backhaul to an outdoor wireless solution. We've got the likes of Project Disease, whereby they're able to provide R5 a gig within rural communities, okay, where they're facilitating the payment of vouchers, these R5 vouchers via the spaza shops and whatnot that are in these locations. So it's really a very powerful thing that we can do, and you almost feel that we collectively, as a distributor, as integrators, as WISPs, we have a moral obligation to bring this fantastic, cost-effective solution to the market, and allow people to during the current time period work remotely, but furthermore to provide them with affordable connectivity, in the future, which will ultimately actually play a massive role in bolstering our economy.
Charles, I just want to jump in here and just tell everybody on the call that none of these are actually providing wireless data to the end customer. That's not the real reason why they're doing. They're empowering the end customer. They allow a person sitting in South Africa to connect to their kids in the UK. They allowing people to actually connect and go and do, especially now with the economic climate that we have, to go and do job hunting and everything else. Last thing that I would like to say on Project Isizwe, when they did the rollout of the project, I just want to highlight the first site that the first customer ever connected to was PNet. So just to show you how hungry the people out there is, just to empower them. We've done a project in Soweto where we actually provide Wi-Fi to the malls. And within 2 weeks, the mall management had a problem because the school kids came and sat in the hallways to actually do their homework, not to play games, not to use social media, to actually help them with their homework. So they actually had to set up a different section in the mall where they can actually provide seating for the people to actually do homework and attract school people to actually empower themselves.
Very, very true, Wayne. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, guys, look, it's a lot to take in what we've covered today. It's barely the tip of the iceberg, as you know. There's plenty of other solutions. The likes of the cnMaestro, which is really a powerful carrier grade type point to multi-point solution, whereas we see EPMP being a bit more versatile and cost effective. So each to their own. But the fact of the matter is that you can use these in collaboration with each other. So if you need guidance on how to do that, speak to us about how we can assist you. So yeah, without going any further, guys, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us and for joining us in the fight against COVID-19. As we said, there's a massive reliance on the citizens and people of South Africa for us to maintain our communications, to enable the economy to work remotely and so forth. So, guys, well done to those of you that are already doing it, and to those of you that are eager to get in and play or do your part. Please speak to us. At the moment, we are running a number of EPMP 3000 specials, where you're getting massive discounts on the units. This is just a small thing Cambium have done on their end to make it more accessible. We've got certain ones that they usually are bundled with either packs of like 12 subscriber modules. We've got one that comes in a pack of 44 subscriber modules with the respective EPMP 3000 base station. So speak to me, speak to Wayne, speak to MiRO. We'll be happy to assist you. We want to help you guys hit the ground running, spec it correctly, use the right technology, and save you some money wherever applicable. So really, guys, thank you so much, and